when I will go to CMD, I can choose either administrator, or I can choose to have normal user. I can use commands to jump from one place to another. So, for example, if I'm here, I can put dir, and I will list all directories available in the C partition. I can say change directory, which is cd, change directory, and I will say users. Right? Yeah, users. And because users are already available as a child for the location that I'm in, now we have, I don't want to list the directories. Now we have a list of directories, or list of, it will easily move to the other directory. Otherwise, I need to put the full path. What's the meaning of that? Let me say I want to jump to another folder located in another place. Now, I need to put the full path, which technically is C:/ the partition where it's located, or the folder where it's located, and the options and so on until the end. Or I need to jump from one level, go one level up, then I will jump to the location, or I jump to C, then from C I go to that place. So it's number of activity or number of steps to take to complete your command or your request. Now, if I want to locate a file or folder, this is how you can jump from one place to another using command prompt. The root directory, or technically how it works. Technically, do you see this picture in front of you? This is exactly how Linux, even the root called root in Linux. Now, root is the top level, like C is a partition, is the top level. That's what they call it, root. Then we have the directories, then we have the file. So if I want to locate a file inside a folder, I need to put the path. So, you hear me? So I will have C, which is the root, : slashes, then the name of the directory, then another name of the directory, then I will have the name of the file to locate a specific file or a text file and so on. So this is a logical path. This is the full path. So technically, if you go here and you click over here and say, hey, this is the logical path, but if you click over here, you will see the full path. I can go to the options and I will say display the full path. And this logical path will not show anymore, but it's going to show the full path rather than the logical path. And this is how the full path is going to list for us. Now, over here, it's listing as a tree for that location. So technically, rather than typing tree over here, so rather than typing tree over here, and it will take time to execute, now I can request to have this to be used in a different way or a specific file. So technically, I can put a command with the specific path for that command. And this, as I mentioned, we have the context and we have the options or the argument. Now the path become my argument. Yeah, it's waiting. The path become my argument. It's complete. It's waiting. And that's a lot. I needed to stop it. And I have an option. So right this moment, tree is my command and is my syntax. This is my argument and this is my option. The option is optional. I'm not mandatory needing to put it, but sometimes it will help me. Okay? I know it's like when we talk about it a little bit, it's going to be weird, but after that it will be easy. So for example, let's see. Yeah, it's not here in Linux. Okay. Let's go. I want to go to a specific path. I want to let you see something. If you want, open CMD, and we are going to practice on something that's really nice. So I'm going to have CMD over here. And I'm going to bring folder, documents, my name on it. So let's go ahead and see the path. So it's going to be C, documents. So I'm going to say change directory, C, slash, now I'm there, I'm going to say, yeah, that's a different location. I need to go to the document, let me see. Document will not be here. I think that's all dates. That's not labeled. Good. Let me start it again. I just want to make sure. CMD, go to the command prompt, dir, I should see documents over here. Then I'm going to say change directory, documents, and I'm there, dir, and I should find a file called Ahmed, change directory to Ahmed. Now I'm inside the folder, and technically I'm inside here. Okay, so let's go ahead and manipulate some information or do something. Go ahead and say make directory CTS 1133. That's 1133. And I should have a directory that's called CTS 1133. Let's go ahead and remove directory CTS 1133, and it's gone. Now, if the directory has a file inside it, that will not help to remove it. Okay? So after 5:45, anyone will show up, I will mark them as late. Okay, so this command, change directory, this command, make a directory, and this command, remove the directory. Now my argument was to have the file name or the directory name. dir going to list directories inside my working directory. Now, in Linux, if I'm using Linux, I'm going to put ls, which is list, and ls going to show me the directories that I have. This print working directory will give me the path that's where I'm working at. Okay, and that's, as I mentioned, the commands of Linux going to be totally different. Now, do you see these dots over here? These are one going to represent, two dots going to represent the current directory. One dot, I think, will represent the current directory. So the current directory that you add in, and the other one is the upper directory or the parent directory, as we mentioned last time. Do you see the options? So I can say, hey, dir, and I will ask exclamation mark. It will give me the option that I have for that command. Oh, I don't have anything. Why? Something went wrong. dir, wrong command. I'm sorry. And these are the options with the explanation of each option we have. So I can say /a, which display files with the specific attributes. B, uses bare format. C, display the thousands separator for the files, and so on as we go through. Now, I start getting emails because I mark students' attendance and absence and so on. And students say that they did not have the link. Now, the link already there since day one, since the day one, located in front of everyone. Start here, and the information listed over here. I'm not responsible for a student who don't read anything. Okay, let's go back. So, we have commands or press, and these are the commands that we can use, and these are the option for the dir commands. Now we will go through the number of commands. md make directory. Also, we can name a directory. rd going to remove the directory. That's, we already went through it. del command. Now, del is for delete commands, remove files. rd, remove directories, will not remove a file. del will remove a file. Okay? The type command would display a text, txt patch file .pat. Okay? And that is okay. Command type, going to give me an opportunity to display text file or .pat file. The patch file over here, if I put command in it, it's going to execute. So if I create a command with a loop, it keeps executing this loop until I put a stop to my loop. And we will write a script. And I think this is one of the things that you need to do to create a script that uses a pat file, which is a patch file, and to be executed, and it will be executed to keep executing the patch file. I think this is one of your group work that you should do, is to write a 5-line script file. So technically, you are going to be writing .pat file. So technically, that's what you should learn when you come reach the type command and type the entire thing in command. Now, copy, xcopy, or robocopy used for copy command. So all of them will copy a file. So I need to, again, use the syntax of the command, which is copy. Then I will specify my file that I'm copying to, which is my argument, the source and the destination. So the source path, the destination path. So it will take copy the file from the destination, from the source to the destination. And that's the copy command. The wildcard, or the asterisk, or the X command, whatever you want to call it, the asterisk, is used for everything. So technically, if I put, not putting the file name, but I'm just putting a directory and I put a star inside it, it's going to be everything that's related to that thing, to this destination or this source, and it will copy everything to there. That's why they call it wildcard. So remember, copy, source, destination. That's how you want to write down your syntax. Remember one thing, a destination can be a partition or a full path. A source will be a path to a file or a folder that you want to copy. Used to copy and backup files and directories. So yeah, you can use it with directories. Attribute. Now, do you remember last week when we went and we covered how to change the attribute of a file from shown to hidden? Now I can create a file, and let's use our example over here. I need to create a file. Not file. Okay. Give me 1 minute. I need to bring the file. I want to change the attribute of that file. Just let me make sure from the command. Just want to make sure from the command before I put it. Let's try, because I need to make sure. Echo this file so I should have right this moment. Yep. So what I did, I put echo. I tried type, it didn't work. So I put echo this file ahmed.txt. So it's, if I call it again, it should have 2 lines of this file. You see this file? So I've created a file. Now I will change this attribute of this file. And by the way, I just want to bring it up from now. This is your exam, your skill test. This command that I'm highlighting over here is your test. So I'm going to put the attribute command, then I will have the option. So I'm going to have it hidden. So plus H, plus for add, minus for remove. And I will say an H for hidden, and I will say the file name. Now I have here this folder. I don't have, my option is not to show hidden files. So if I come here, or don't show hidden files, let me put it that way. So this is not hidden yet, and I can just put the command and come on. And it's gone. Why? The attribute for that file has been changed. If I take the same exact attribute, and how I can take the same exact attribute by going 1, 2 up, and I put minus, and I press the command, this attribute should change. You can see it over here. Everything is being done through the command line. That's how we are going to work it. So again, plus to add, minus to remove, the option A to archive it, H for hidden, S for system, R for read only. So if your exam telling you to have it a read only, and that's it. That's what I'm going to do. Have your file, they give you a name of the file to be read only. That's it. So you are going to put plus R. That's it. Okay, this is on your exam. So the reason why you need to learn commands. Learning commands is the basic to start with programming. If you don't know how the computer interacts, okay, because we have two types of programming: sequence programming and object-oriented programming. And object-oriented programming, this is Java and Python and so on, deals with everything as an object. But sequence programming like C and C++ and so on, it goes by sequence. So technically it will start the order, first line, second line, third line, da 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 da. And when you have complete, that's your sequence, that's your program. So that's a sequence programming, and this is the basic to start with. Commands is being used until today. Who use it? Administrator. Why? Because it's easy for them to send and receive commands from computers that are located remotely. Also, it's easy for them to fix something remotely. It will take a lot of access to gain a graphical user interface access. But sending and receiving command, it will not require a lot. And that's the reason why hackers today uses shell and uses commands, because it's easy for them to gain access to files and send files and receive files through a command line. Because if you want to pull out or download a huge file, guess what? It will require a lot of data to be transferred, and you want to minimize the load on your network, and so on. And that's the reason why you need to learn commands, because people who work in IT, until today, they use commands. Now, with Windows Server, we have something called PowerShell. I think it's also located over here in Windows 10. I'm not pretty sure, but I'm pretty sure that in Windows, I don't have it. Windows PowerShell is an application, it's located. So you can use a PowerShell to send and receive commands to your computer. Now, I don't expect you to memorize everything about these commands, but at least you understand that which one and what it do. So, for example, you know exactly, for example, cd change directory, rd remove directory, and so on. Each ping, for example, if you want to check on a website if it's working or not, you just ping on that website and you should receive a response back. Now, I have timeout. Guess what? Google is timeout. So, yeah, why am I timing out? That's weird. So this command, for example, ping, P-I-N-G, will send and receive 4 packets. Yeah, we have 4 packets get lost. 4 packets. Now, I can keep going to this website until I stop it. So I can say the same exact command. Let me put Facebook. I don't know. -T, and this is my option. And this will keep. Why I'm timing out? Do I have a problem with my internet? We'll keep going, not to stop on 4 until I stop it. And how you can stop your commands from executing in a CMD is just Control-C and you stop it. Control-C will stop the command from being executed rather than exiting, because exiting, or technically closing this, most of the people who are learning, they do delete something and by mistake they delete everything and they start noticing that they're doing the problem. They will exit from here, and guess what? Exiting from here will not stop your command. The command will execute as normal. So the most important is to stop it, and how you want to stop it, Control-C to stop your command. We have more. command format, as we mentioned, each command have different options and different argument. So command and the option and the file or folder that you want to apply your attribute commands to it. And remember, each command have different. So the syntax is going to be the command, the argument, and the option. Or for example, attribute going to be the command, option, and your file, which is your argument. And so on. You can see each one what it do. And I'm going to leave it on you to explore each one of them. Now Cypher is going to display or alter file and or folders in encryption. And you can see each one will do something. So, what's a script? A script is a small in size, little, small in size program that is designed to do a specific task. Okay, let me I will tell you. Take this file and see. I will do something. Start. Yes. So I'm let's see if I can. So this is a command. Let me see. I don't think I can try this. I didn't do this for a long time. Believe it or not. So let me save it. This is still in a text file. So I change on this text file and I put the start, and I'm going to change this. Display full path, show hidden, and don't hide. What I did wrong. Okay, so I'm going to change the extension for this file to BAT, which is .bat, and technically I'm going to request, and you can see its application now. I'm going to request to start Firefox. Let me see if I have an error. Yeah, I have an error. Yeah, okay. Let me change it. So edit this. Save. Come on. Huh. That's weird. Why is opening CMD form? Because the application is already started. It's opening CMD but say Firefox. That's weird. Okay. Let me pull something. I always try to make sure before I start. Okay. So I think because it's all lowercase. Sorry. So start. And I'm going to copy this. Save it. Double click it. Yep. Did you see what happened? What happened is that I called Firefox to, not Firefox, the path file to open Google Chrome for me. And immediately it's opening over here. I can type to shut down the computer. I can type to start a CMD. Let me see CMD. I don't know if it will work with. Yep. So for example, I'm going to start to let you see something. So let's edit this file. Echo off. This is my commands. 10 times will stop and start task manager. Now I'm going to put CMD. So start CMD. So I'm going to start CMD 10 times. Save it, and let's see. Okay, I'll let you see something. Content. Do you see what happened in my other screen? It opened 10 times CMD. Again, I'm going to call it right this moment. 1, 2, 3. So to open 10 times CMD. And as you can see, I can type anything in this script. This is a program? No. This is a script that's going to do a task. So a script is a little program, small in size, that's designed to do a specific task. There are many scripts available on Networking Professional to use, for Network Professional to use, and you can also create your own. Okay, so how we create our own to open a file and then or a program. A script is a small program that carries out a task or a series of tasks. For example, what I did is I requested the task to be used 10 times. Now start with 1, then end with 10. And by this, if I put 1,000 over here, it will keep going. Now this is the command that's going to open the CMD for us, and this is the execution of the loop. So I opened a loop, okay? And by this, I create small and little program. So I can go ahead and create a text file, enter what I want to the computer to execute, then I will save it as .bat or change the file name to be ended with an extension .bat, and then you will see that is being executed. Now, which programs we have? We can use shell, and shell script is used more for Linux and Unix operating systems. So rather than .bat, I will have .sh, and sh going to be a shell that's going to execute file. Now, have I written before a .sh or a shell before? Yes, I needed to write a program to do a backup, or technically to take an extension to send the file to someone else, someplace. And I needed to write it in a script because I needed to run it as a root access. Bash file, the one that we just created, .bat. Python file is a good language for writing scripts because it's relatively easy to learn. Let's stop. Python is the easiest language to learn. When you are talking, technically you're talking in English, telling the Python to do something, and it will do it. Okay? VB script, Visual Basic Script, is Microsoft scripting language. I use Visual Studio a lot. It's free. You can download it if you download the community version of it, which is Visual Studio Community. It's free. You download it and you can create any program you like. JavaScript is a complicated program. It's language complicated because it uses a lot of codes and so on. PowerShell going to be another language that uses with Microsoft Windows. Let's talk about verbals. Now, Environmental verbal, I will not talk about it because you will not understand. But let me talk about verbal in a place. Now, a verbal is where you want to name something. I know that you didn't take programming, but you need to learn this. So, verbal, before I talk about environmental verbal, let me talk about verbals first, then we'll talk about environmental. Verbal is the location where you are going to store something to be recalled again later. So I can say, hey, set var1, which is verbal 1, set var1 to be equal to 0. Echo var1, and immediately I will have 0. Why? Because I saved var1 to be 0. I set it to be. And this is a verbal. Now we can have a verbal and different variables, and we can add verbals together. We can multiply. We can do any mathematical operation we want. Environmental verbal, that verbal that describes the environment in which program runs. For example, .docx, which is one for word, environment or word processing. So how I can find it, I will go to the system properties, then I will go to advanced, and I will go to the environment verbal, and I can see each program and what the path or what the file that executes. So let's see, system properties, protection. And you can see I have the path, where's the location of it, the variables over here, and what file is working on what, and so on. And you can see it's set over here, and you can manipulate it. Most of the time you are going to use the run to execute files and or commands from Windows. So we are going to use run a lot in this course. And you can call any type of verbal or any application. So system properties, advanced.exe, and immediately this will pop up for you. Okay? So you can run it through that way. The Windows key with the R going to give you the run option, and then you type whatever you want to type. And you can set and so on. In terms of the verbals, as we said, we can set verbals. Now, scripting syntax is different from one location to one language to another. For example, Python, if you want to say print hello my friend, it will print hello my friend. In Java, you need to say console.log hello my friend, then it will show you hello my friend. In shell scripting, like we will type, or like for example, echo hello my friend, it will show hello my friend message. Shell will say echo in between two quotations, and you will write the message you want to write. So in 1960, scientists proved that for all programming code can be done using three constructs. We have sequence, selection, or repetition. Sequence is how computers execute code, which is line by line. Selection is how specific line of the code are run if a specific condition is met. And repetition, which is sometimes called iteration, which is how the computer executes specific lines of code. Okay, this is only a lecture that you need to have an understanding about it. A program variables that I've just mentioned, var1 equal to 23, or my number, for example, I can say my number equal to 23, and I can say, hey, multiply my number by my number, and technically multiply 23. So total will equal my number multiplied by my number, and display my number is shown. So you can do whatever you want to do with variables. You can set it to something else, like whatever you like. Let's see. Echo of Oh, you're not seeing my screen. You need to tell me. You're seeing this screen. Wow. You need to tell me, by the way. I'm working on this screen. Okay. I'm working over here. I'm talking about this screen. So I can say set var1 to be equal to 23. Then I have total going to be equal var1 divided by var1 and equal. Let's see. I don't know if it's going to work, but let's see. Let's see if it's going to work. I'll tell you why I did this. Total is not recognized as an internal or external command. Yeah, that's wrong. So equal total. And even that. So I'm doing something wrong. Now when I put pause and say stop the commands until I press enter. So yeah, I'm doing something wrong. The dot bash is not working. Data type. We have two different type of data. We have strings and we have integers. Strings going to be any texts, any words, any alphabetics. This is strings. Integers or integers, whatever you want to call it. Going to be the numbers. So you can multiply them, you can set them to something, and so on. Let's see something. Dash file. Set number 1 to be 3, set number 2 to be 3, set. Oh yeah, that's what I put. Okay, let's try. Set total. So let's take this. Multiply. Save it. And eco. Let's see if this will play. Okay, let's try. I don't know why it's not. Okay, let's see. We have set var1, set. Oh yeah, that's different. Let's try. It's displaying total only without anything. Same exact thing. Let's try. Yeah, it's not recognized. It's not defined. Why is that defined? Yeah, I need to call them as an integers. I don't know. Okay, it's not a big deal. We will play again. Comments. Whenever you want to do a program from a lot of reasons, for you in reference for the future, for you to protect your organization property, and for any programmer will come after you and start taking your work, you must use comments. Comments will not affect, but it will explain what's this, because each person have his own way of programming. I like to program in a specific way. You will like to program in a different way. Each individual have a way of programming, and if you don't explain what's this, it will be hard for the person to know what's this. And that's one of the reasons why you need to put commands. Each language will have a different way to put commands. Python, this way. Java, patch file, and so on. Basic script structure. Some languages will require to have semicolons to stop the line or to start a new, to stop the command at this line to tell them, hey, this is the end of the line, it's nothing more, and so on. So each language have a different way to construct, but the basic going to have either the sequence or decision or the selection or the alteration. Now we have something called decision structure and loop structure. Decision structure, whether something will meet, so for example, if I can say, if today raining, then no going out. So if yes, it will say echo not going out, and that's my message. If it's true. If it's false, I need to say else. So I will say, if today raining, echo no going out or not going out, else let's go out. So if it's not raining, I can go out. Okay? So that's the decision. It's true or false, yes or no. You have one option, or maybe you can put more than one option. If so on, so on, and so on, so on, because we have operation, we have and or not. 3. I can put with the if decision, I can say and, so I can have 2 conditions rather than 1. Or one of them will apply. Not, if one don't apply to the other, then you will have to do the decision, otherwise you don't. Or the loop, which technically what we just did, we looped our code 3 times or 10 times. And that's what I was talking about, relational operation. Equal to, not equal to, less than, or equal to, greater than or equal to. These will work a lot in terms of codes, and you can see if, print, so on, so on. Okay? So we have a lot of what I'm talking. If score above 90, print congratulations, you have a grade A. ELF, technically ELF is in Python. If ELF else, so ELF going to be 80, going to be B, da 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 da, else going to be an F. That's all. And this is what I'm talking about, and or not, what they do, and operator turns true, or operator returns false, and not operator simply flips the result of an expression. And that's what I'm talking about. While is a loop, so I can say while, and you say while 1 plus 1, over start CMD, and and while. So 1 plus 1 will always equal 2. Guess what? No stop. Small virus. So I can say x equal 5, count 1, while count less than 11, I think, and then display this. Technically, that's a program that will display it. 4, which is another loop option. Now, this is based on the programming language that you're using. That's why you find me skipping a lot of things, because each programming language is totally different, but you need to understand what the meaning of 4, what the meaning of while, and so on. loop for is sometimes referred as a collection control loop. Okay, but we have more. These are the examples for Visual Basic Script and PowerShell. So .vps going to be the Visual Basic Studio or the script, and the PowerShell going to be PS1. And you can see over here is that this is a PowerShell that you can execute something by using PowerShell. Questions so far? No questions? Okay, let's go ahead and talk about our homework, because I like to talk about homework every time I have an opportunity. And believe it or not, students don't care. Because I can see when I put the meeting for last week, I did not have a lot of people to view last week video. 5 only. So let's go ahead and go to Canvas, number 1. Let's go to Canvas and go to module 2. This is module 2. So we have lab 1, Windows and command prompts using NetLab, and lab 2, part 2, which is Windows installation, backup, and repair using uCertify. Let's go ahead and go to uCertify because I'm already logged in. So manage, go to your class, view it as a student, assessments, lab 2, part 2, module 2, start. Yeah, I don't pass. You have 20 minutes to complete. You have 15 items. So let's go ahead and start. And it will ask you a question. This is how to do that now. Got it. Next. So a file name consists of a file name and a extension. This is how you can do the lab, teach you how to do it. Let's see. This is weird. Oh, live lab, sorry. That's new. So I skipped them. I was thinking what's going on. Where it is. So over here we need to start the machine. That's new. And now using a CMD command, right click on the start, select run. In the open text box, type CMD and click OK. Enter the following command prompt. So they want you to click on the right click and go to run, and then you are going to type CMD, I think. CMD, click OK. Then you are going to put dir cd desktop mkdir test cd test echo certify into test.file.txt and press enter, close the console. See. How much I had? I think I failed. Ah, correct. Why? Why? I don't know. Record my answer. You can repeat it. And end test. When you complete, you will end the task, and you can see how much you had gained for each one. Okay. This is you certified. Now NetLab, you will be required to do to have the book. Okay. So, back because I don't want you as students. And that's what they want you to do. You already have the information for NetLab. And I started to be kind of annoyed by students saying that I did not provide them the information. This is the login information for NetLab over here. This is the link, the URL, and that's the information for NetLab. So you go, and I am getting emails every single day saying, "Oh, you didn't provide the information." So this is what you need to do: sign into your user ID and password, locate the appropriate lab book. So technically, you need to have the labs for you, and then you will do the steps. And technically, if you have the book, it will say lab 14.13, and you will do the actions, and after that you will submit, take a quiz, and respond to the questions. So my best suggestion for you is to take a picture of all and every step that you take while you are doing the lab, and then you will come here and answer the questions, because here you will know exactly what they are asking for. Otherwise, you need to go back to correct it, or to find the answer. Questions? Questions? Are you sure? No one here. Questions? Nice. I like this cooperation. Okay, then we completed the lecture. We completed the chapter. Then